Hello, everyone, and welcome to Cloud Currents, the podcast that navigates the ever-evolving landscape of cloud computing and its impact on modern businesses. I'm your host, Matt Pacheco, and I manage the content marketing team at TierPoint, a managed cloud and data center provider. Today, we're joined by Sheelu Verma, Director of Data Governance, Cloud, and Data Operations at ADT. With over 2 decades of experience in technology, Sheila has led ADT's evolution in data governance and cloud operations, while championing AI and machine learning initiatives and diversity in tech. Today, we'll explore how ADT is leveraging data and cloud technologies to transform their security services, discuss the challenges of data governance in the AI era, and share insights on building successful tech teams. So we want to welcome you and thank you for being on Cloud Currents, Sheelu.
Thank you, Matt. I am so excited to be on Cloud Currents with you here. Hi, everyone. So I have been with ADT for 11 years, and I started my professional career from Oracle, the giant software company, which was based out of California, but now they have their headquarters in Austin. So I started my career from Oracle as the Oracle Applications DBA. And from there, I used to support their application development infrastructure, the entire development organization. And from Oracle, after working 10 years, I moved to G6, which is the company that owns the Motel 6 and Studio 6 hotels. And I worked there for almost more than 2 years as the lead Oracle DBA. And from there, I came to ADT. It was an interesting story how I came to ADT. I wasn't really looking for a change because I was really happy at G6. I really appreciate how they valued their employees, really respected everybody's work life balance. So it was a great place to work. But I was looking for more challenge. And I got this recruiter from ADT reach out to me on LinkedIn, and they said, "Are you looking for more challenge?" And I said, "Wow, did they read my mind?" And I agreed for an interview, and after a few more rounds of interview, the rest is history. I joined ADT, and boy, it was a challenging landscape right from day one. There was so much going on at ADT at the time. I of course joined the Oracle Applications DBA team as the senior DBA, but there was so much going on. It was a very fast-paced environment, too much going on at the same time, but also a great place for learning. So I stayed at ADT and I grew from Oracle Applications Senior DBA to Senior Manager to Director of Infrastructure Operations. And that now I am the Director of Data Governance, Data Operations, and Cloud Operations. So it's been a very interesting journey. Not always smooth, but a great journey and amazing experiences and learning throughout.
Really interesting journey. I'm curious, going from a DBA to kind of a leadership role, what has changed in your life from there? Like what skills did you have to learn, and what drove your interest in becoming a leader in those organizations?
You have asked a great question. um, I was, because I worked at Oracle for 10 years, so I was in lead role for many projects. And even at the G6 organization, I was the lead DBA. So lead work I had done for a while. Even at ADT, I was a senior DBA and I was already leading the Oracle Applications DBA team. And quickly, I was made the lead for the entire Oracle DBA team. Being a technical lead is so much different from actually managing a team. That is something that I learned when I got the title of senior manager. This was back in 2016, 2017. And I had no idea what I was getting into. I had just heard that, okay, this is what the managers need to do. There's a lot of admin work, there's a lot of people management in addition to everything else that you have been doing. And it was a rude awakening for me to realize that I actually lacked managerial skills. So I asked my manager if I could get some form of a training because I had always been very technical, hands on, and this was all new territory for me, managing people. So my manager, he was a really nice person who's no longer at ADT. He advised me to go for the Dale Carnegie leadership training. And I am so thankful to him that he made me do that. It was a 3-month training and it really prepared me for the managerial role. So I am really thankful that I went through that 3 months of training. It wasn't easy. I had to drive 20 miles 2 times a week, and it really helped me become a better manager. And really, I started loving the people management work.
Excellent. And yeah, career leadership is always a place of constant learning, and it's not something you just fall into. You have to build it, and sessions like that are awesome. So tell us a little bit back to your whole career journey. What got you interested in tech originally?
I actually have a mathematics background. I'm from India, and I did my master's in mathematics from India. And after that, I came to US pretty soon after my master's, and I enrolled. I wanted to do master's in computer science because at the time when I came to United States, IT was the thing. Everybody was getting jobs, especially people coming from different countries. They were getting jobs in IT. IT was the biggest employment area at that time. And I was in California. California is where I landed. So technology seemed to be the obvious choice. And I enrolled for master's in computer science, but I did not complete it. I actually just did some of the prereq courses. I did one of the core course, but after that, I already got a job with Oracle. So I thought, well, what was my goal? I already have a master's. I wanted to work, earn money. I already got a job with Oracle, so I won't do masters. So that was it about my master's journey. But I joined Oracle and I completed some Oracle DBA certifications. And I really enjoyed working with Oracle at the time, learning the technology, doing the Oracle DBA work. And then later I went on to get into Oracle applications. And I enjoyed working with Oracle applications, and that's what I did for many years.
Excellent. So it looks like you had a lot of experience with many areas, and specifically now, I would like to talk about data governance and AI readiness because we know AI has we data was growing a lot before. Like there was massive growth in data year over year for the last, I can't even remember how long. But since AI is now taking the stage, there's even more data and there's potential massive growth, and manage that data is a real big challenge for a lot of businesses. I'd like to ask you, what are some of the key challenges in aligning data governance with business priorities?
There are big challenges. You will hear this time and time again. There's always some friction between data governance efforts and the business priorities. That's because business doesn't really understand the importance of data governance in most of the organizations. If there are organizations where the business is completely aligned with data governance efforts, I congratulate them. But that is not the case yet in our organization. We are continuously challenged to show the value that data governance brings to business, with the quality of data, the getting a single source of truth, because that is one of the biggest problems that we have with data today. And as we are talking about being AI ready, how do you get your data AI ready? If you feed garbage into your AI models, you get garbage out, right? Garbage in, garbage out. So you need to have trustworthy, clean, governed data so that you can get accurate information out to the business for decision making, for their regular processes. So data governance is so important these days. It's an extremely important function for getting all the AI readiness for your company. And yet, we still have so many challenges making it a priority for business. So that's one of the biggest challenges that we deal with day to day. And I cannot emphasize enough. You got to do this, people.
I agree. What kind of strategies have you used internally to kind of get buy-in for data governance initiatives at ADT?
We have done a lot. We weren't doing a lot of data governance earlier. So in the last 2.5 years, we have come up with a very comprehensive data strategy, which includes a complete overhaul of our data landscape to improve our data maturity. We actually hired an outside company to do an assessment of our data maturity, and they gave us very poor marks. So that was that was the moment when the leadership decided, oh, this is not good. We really need to improve our data maturity scores. So 2 years back, they came up with this whole data strategy. They created a whole new data governance operating model and put in place a lot of different initiatives that involved our complete migration of data warehouse from legacy platform over to cloud, set up the data governance, data quality program, created a new data governance operating model, which included business sponsors, the data sponsors from business side, data owners, data stewards, and then on IT side, data custodians, data product managers. And we set up scrum teams for each domain. We set up different domains, for example, billing, sales, marketing, HR, product. So we have all these different domains, and each domain has all these people, starting from the business sponsor, the data product owner, data stewards who are the owners of that data, and then we have all these people on IT side who are completely aligned with business domains. So that has brought a lot of changes that helped improve our relationship with business, helped align our priorities with business priorities, and we have been working with them very closely in anything that we are doing for enhancing, for creating new stuff, for changing anything. So we are just locked in step with business now, and that has been one of the biggest changes.
That's a big win. That's excellent to get that buy-in and with those strategies. That sounds great. Um, I like to talk a little bit about AI. So you talked about making data AI ready, and we can get into the uses of all that. But I'd love to talk about AI and machine learning implementation that you're currently using. How is ADT and your team currently leveraging AI machine learning in your operations?
ADT has been actually using machine learning for a few years now. I know that AI is such a new thing. I think it became big AI and Gen AI were the biggest big buzzwords in the last year, and before that itself, it started blowing up. But ADT has been doing machine learning for more than a couple of years now, and they are doing using machine learning for some of the use cases I can share for things like customer churn. They are predicting what are the customers that have a propensity of leaving ADT so that they can take some measures to save those customer accounts. The another one, which I really like to share, is truck roll reduction. ADT, anytime in the past, a customer that had ADT systems had an issue, they would call ADT and ADT would send out a technician to their house. But during COVID, we realized that there was a lot of stuff that could be done virtually. And COVID kind of forced us to work virtually across the board in the organization. And now we have machine learning models that are looking at all the issues that are filed, that are created by customers, and they are figuring out or predicting they are creating a list of issues that can be resolved virtually by a virtual agent. And that is bringing us a lot of savings because we are reducing truck rolls. So there are different kinds of initiatives that are going on. There's one really big machine learning model that we deployed last year, and that was for leads generation for the company. So there's a lot of work that is going on. And now we are also doing some work with Gen AI, with natural language processing. So we are working with a couple of companies for virtual agents, so chatbots that will leverage the Gen AI and NLP, and they will interact with customers completely on their own. And the another one is virtual agent. ADT is working with Google, and we are creating a contact center AI for virtual agents. So in future, people may call ADT and for inquiring about products, and it would be a completely virtual agent talking like a real human, and they wouldn't even know the difference.
So I know there's a lot of skepticism around AI and the uses of AI and the opportunity for AI to go hallucinatory or even rogue in some instances. How are you mitigating some of those kind of challenges or concerns people have about adopting AI, generative AI for solutions like your chatbots or your agents?
There are guardrails that you can put into place so that the chatbot cannot just give any kind of information out. You have to restrict the information that the chatbot can share. You have to ensure that whatever chatbot is giving out, whatever information is accurate. So we are making sure that the knowledge base that the chatbot is using is accurate. And we have humans in the loop who are validating these interactions as well. So there are things that we are doing. There's a lot of emphasis that we are putting also on data privacy and security. So we have to make sure that the information or the data that people can access is the data that they should be accessing and nothing beyond their access. So we are scanning all of our data, and we are anonymizing the data that users should not be able to access, because there's different levels of access that people can have. There's finance data that only finance people should be accessing. There's HR data that only HR people should be accessing. So we have different levels of restrictions, access controls in place that are making sure that the data is secure, and we are respecting everybody's privacy.
Excellent. Yeah, it's really interesting how you're using some of those best practices and governance models to ensure that data. Because I there's regulations coming out across the world right now trying to make sure that companies leverage or the AIs that they're using aren't misusing that data or anything like that. So that's a great approach. So let's talk about from a leadership perspective. So you're running a team, and there's all these new emerging technologies, and we know that cloud specifically and security as well are constantly changing. It's not the same as it was even 2 years ago. How do you approach talent development in emerging tech, and also keeping your team apprised of everything that's changing?
Yeah, it's really difficult with all that's happening. Companies are having to let go of people. We lose a lot of people, and with them, we lose a lot of the business knowledge, company landscape knowledge that people have, and important skills. So it's been really hard. We have been continuously, as we started on this cloud journey a few years back, we have been in this digital transformation for a few years now. And this is overall ADT IT, digital transformation that has been going on. We had to, of course, we had to get outside help, but you can't really do without upskilling your people. So we have provided a lot of training to our employees. ADT has provided LinkedIn Learning, ADT has provided GCP courses, Microsoft Azure courses, Oracle Cloud, because we are a multi cloud. We have a multi cloud strategy and we are on GCP, Azure, Oracle Cloud, we have Salesforce, and trainings for all of these different cloud platforms are available for the employees. And we have these annual credits with all these vendors. So it's really easy to learn and upskill. And we also have goals for some people, technical people, who should get certifications. So it's part of our annual performance reviews as well. So that's kind of a push for people to get certified in certain skill sets. That's there. And of course, on the job learning. A lot of the times, even though people are not yet ready, they don't have the complete skill set, you still have to get them into the work. And that's how they learn. And I've seen that that is actually the best way to learn. You learn more than any training when you are hands-on, when you are right in the middle of the things.
That's so true. I feel like everything I've ever learned has been because of hands-on training. Um, Very interesting. So cloud teams are typically these days they're everywhere. They're across various time zones, and we're trying to upskill them and make sure everyone's caught up with all these new technologies, and making sure they get that hands-on work. How do you manage global teams across different time zones with all of this work?
Thankfully, I have been used to managing global teams right from when I was at Oracle. Oracle had a really good, very good process for teams across different time zones. They are a truly global company. So I got really good experience from there working with teams in different time zones and managing projects and teams. So and at G6, it was all in one time zone. So when I came to ADT, it was it was good that I already had experience from Oracle, and ADT does not have, like, we don't have teams in all across the world, but we do have teams in India. Now we have some nearshore folks in Canada and Mexico, but most of the teams are within US and across different time zones. So it's of course it's much easier than working with teams in UK and Australia and Brazil, but still, there is some compromise that you have to make with when you are working with teams across different time zones. You have to attend meetings a bit early in the morning, late in the evening, and you have to set up some processes for handover, handoff, take on, take off. So we have all those things in place. I am really fortunate that I have managers in my team who work really well with these teams across the time zones, offshore teams. And a really good thing is that some of the vendors that we work with, they are very professional and they provide really good support, even though, and they don't mind even if they have to work really late hours their time, and or really early hours. So I'm really appreciative how professional everybody is. I think nowadays it's not that big a deal, I guess.
Yeah, it's great that we're at that point where it's easier to manage these teams and they enable your team to learn and grow and do all the things they need to do effectively. I'm going to shift gears a little to cloud transformation a little bit. So, our listeners, we often hear about all the changes in the cloud landscape, how businesses are evolving to adapt to the changes in public cloud and a move from on-prem to public cloud or any cloud, hybrid cloud, all that great stuff. I would love to understand a little bit more about how ADT's cloud journey has evolved over the last few years since you've joined the team.
It sure has evolved. It hasn't been easy. It has been very interesting. Um, we started this cloud digital transformation journey, I think almost 4 years back, and we started with some of the smaller systems, moving them to cloud. And then the data warehouse was one of the earliest bigger systems that we decided to move to cloud. We were on Oracle Exadata on-prem, and our data warehouse was pretty big. The data warehouse size was close to 300 terabytes. And yeah, for a company ADT size, we have insane amount of data. So we decided to move our data warehouse, and it started back in 2021, or even late 2020. We started this migration of our data warehouse from Oracle Exadata to GCP BigQuery, which is our choice of data warehouse now. And it just completed earlier this year in June.
That's a
So
long time.
it's a long time. And I think people don't anticipate the kind of challenges, the budget issues, the other problems that we get. There was, it went okay for, I guess, for 1 year. And then business just came back saying, okay, this is taking way too much time. You are putting our priorities on hold. We cannot take this any longer. So we had to pause the migration for a while and then work on business priorities. So these are the things we don't anticipate. And then because we were running system in multiple places. Now that we have, some of the things have migrated, a lot of the things are still running on-prem. We don't realize that now the team has to manage multiple things. So that's an overhead on the teams. Budget wise, also, we were spending a lot more than anticipated. We did not realize that while the migration was going on, there would be so much constraint on the on-prem hardware. Because the migration, in addition to all those really compute intensive jobs that run, the data warehouse jobs, now we are also running 24 by 7 these pipelines that are copying the data from on-prem to cloud. And nobody anticipated how much load that would produce. So there were a lot of missteps, there were a lot of miscalculations on the way, but I am so glad that finally this year in June, we shut down and decommissioned our on-prem Oracle Exadata systems. So it has been a very challenging but very satisfying journey.
What were some of the key reasons for going with GCP over other options?
One of the biggest reasons was that Google invested in ADT. So we were kind of forced into this partnership with Google. Um, a few years back, Google invested quite a big amount of money into ADT. I believe it was to the tunes of more than $500 million. So that's when the ADT and Google partnership began. And ADT also partnered with Google on their Nest suite of products, the Nest doorbell, the Nest thermostat. And that partnership is still going strong, and it's even getting stronger. So that was the main reason, because um, we were actually looking at Amazon, AWS. But with the Google partnership, the only choice for us was Google BigQuery for data warehouse. But we actually don't regret moving to Google BigQuery because it's a great platform. I think Google BigQuery is one of the best data warehouses out there.
So we know with the cloud, sometimes costs, especially when it comes to all that data, costs can be unpredictable. What is your approach to kind of maintaining cloud cost and cloud cost optimization?
Cloud cost. So that's a really good question. Because once you start your cloud journey, you don't realize how fast the cloud costs start blowing up. And we have realized, I think from last year, we started seeing our cloud costs increasing so fast that it was very surprising. And we were scrambling to control our costs. We were looking at what is it that we can optimize. The queries, the some of the queries we found that were costing $1,000 or so per run, which was amazing. So yeah, we we had to quickly find out the most costly queries and start optimizing those. So we started there. But we have seen that as we keep pushing more and more workload onto GCP and especially onto BigQuery, now after the migration, our data in GCP has grown to more than 2.5 petabytes. So our original on-prem data warehouse was around 300 terabytes. But now, just a few years later in GCP, BigQuery, we have more than 2.5 petabytes of data. So there's insane volume of data that we have. And as we have more data, as we are building more and more data products, we keep adding more data sources, we keep bringing more processes, the costs are really beginning to pile up. And we found that this year we are on course to spend more than twice what we spent last year. And that is a big concern now. And we are looking at all different avenues for optimization. In fact, next year, my team has a big project on the roadmap for overall assessment of Google Cloud Platform and find areas for optimization. And yeah, actually, there's one more thing. Google increased their BigQuery pricing last year. That was another big reason that our costs have gone up so much. We used to pay 4.25 per terabyte, but now we are paying 6.25 per terabyte of compute on BigQuery. So that's a big increase. And one of the ways that we are going to try to cut down our cost in future next year is by going for BigQuery reserved slots. So that is something that Google has been pushing us to do. And we have to go for reserved slots, which means that there would be a limited amount of compute that we can use. And if we go over, then we have to pay more. So I think that would be helpful if we go for the reserved slots. And another thing that we are trying to do is charge back to business. Right now, IT pays for everything. Any kind of querying, any kind of process the business is running in our data warehouse, we pay for that. But in 2025, we are planning to come up with a model, chargeback model, so that business, whatever queries they are running in our data warehouse, they pay for those. So hopefully that will also help with some of the IT budget.
Very interesting. Switching to diversity and inclusion. So I know you're involved, you have a role in ERG. Can you explain ERG and how your role in it has influenced your management style?
Yeah, I wouldn't say that being involved with ERG has changed my management style, but um, I feel like it has helped me grow a lot as a person and as a leader. ERG stands for Employee Resource Group. And at ADT, we call our ERGs BERGs, BERG, which stands for Business Employee Resource Group. So I am the chair of Asian Employee Resource Group at ADT, and we have a lot of other ERGs. We have Hispanic ERG, we have Black, mental health, veterans, LGBTQ, etc., and there's more. And these birds have created such a wonderful community in our company. And in my Asian ERG, we have around 150 members now. We organize events. We organize events like Diwali, which I just did at our local Irving office, and we had two more Diwali events, one in Boca headquarters and one in California. So that was an opportunity to bring people together with these in-person events, and people love those. We also organize things like AAPI month celebration. AAPI month is the Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month, which is May every year, and it's a big month for us. So we organize some events, some member meeting and other events during that month and throughout the year. We get our senior and executive leadership team members as speakers to our events, and then we have our members interact with them. And those are very successful events as well. And apart from everything else, what I have seen is that people really like this sense of community in the Bergs. And it's a safe space where we have people coming in and sharing anything without bias, without judgment. They are free to share anything. And that is something that's very valuable for people. They like it. And being a part of Berg and hearing from people from different backgrounds, from different cultures, has really helped me understand different perspectives on things. It's so many times it happens that I am hearing something and I have only one way of interpreting that. But when there are other people with different varying opinions, you listen to them and then you think, oh, yeah, that's right. This could be another way to interpret this. So I really enjoy the different perspectives that I hear in all our Berg events and interacting with our members. So I would say that has definitely helped me become a better leader, and a person.
That's great. Do you see the DEI initiatives and things like your Berg program adding benefits to like your business results and then the things you do at work, like not at work, but at in your operations?
Absolutely. And that's why we have that business in Berg, right? Business Employee Resource Group. So we do partner with business off and on. For example, we are partnering with our talent acquisition team where they reach out to Bergs and they ask us to share any kind of job openings and all within our networks. They are also partnering with us to make their job postings, any kind of surveys, or other things more inclusive. of everybody. Even marketing team is partnering with Bergs, and product team, they are reaching out to Bergs to get their members to test out the products, the new products, during their soft launches and all. So there are different ways we are partnering with the Bergs, with the business.
What advice would you give to other organizations listening, looking to improve their diversity, equity, inclusion efforts?
It's so sad that nowadays the DEI efforts have actually gone down. The companies, I know that there was such a big push for DEI in the last couple of years, during COVID as well. But now, for some reason, the companies are kind of reducing their DEI budgets and the efforts that they were doing. I don't think that's good. Um, there is still a lot of need for companies to have DEI, good DEI programs in their company. And I feel that that is one of the big draws when we tell other people, as we are hiring interns or we are hiring people, and we tell them about our Bergs, they get very interested. They want to know more. And we are also providing a lot of opportunities to people through our Bergs. For example, we have all these McKinsey leadership programs that we offer to our Berg members. Anybody who's a Berg member of Asian, Black, or Hispanic Berg can enroll in those programs. And we have those leadership development programs running a few times every year. It is something that is attractive to people you are trying to lure into joining your company.
Yeah, I would definitely say it's good for retention and for recruiting employees to see. Last few questions. Where do you see the intersection of AI and security services, what you at ADT are doing? Where do you see that intersection heading in the future?
Just like any business, ADT is currently looking at AI for efficiencies and for things like virtual agent and virtual chatbots. But in future, there is a lot of scope for ADT as a security company to leverage AI. There's so much we can do with AI. It would be great if we can use AI for getting advanced alarms or notifications on weather patterns, because those impact ADT, our people in the field who are working in the field. There's also anomaly detection. They can use AI for anomaly detection in people's alarms. That can be helpful. They can use AI for monitoring their supply chain for their products. There's so many other things that ADT can do with AI, but right now their focus is on the two things that I was talking about. However, there are other departments within ADT, like HR, who are looking at AI for scanning the resumes for now across all different platforms. And that is something that I am a little, I would say that we have to be careful with, so that there's no bias. And I know that ADT doesn't really have a comprehensive AI governance yet, but it is being worked on by the AI Center of Excellence. There is one, and they are working on that right now. So I am actually waiting to see what we do with the AI governance, AI ethics. We have to make sure that there's no bias. We are protecting people's privacy. So we definitely need a comprehensive AI governance, AI security policy right now, and we don't have that yet.
I'm sure a lot of businesses are working towards that as well.
Yeah,
Um,
actually, even U.S. government does not have that yet, a comprehensive AI policy yet. Europe has one. Actually, the states have their own. Even Texas has its own. So they are looking at that, but we definitely need one from the federal government.
And then last question for you, besides AI, because AI is the easy one. What emerging technologies are exciting for you? What are you getting excited about in the future of cloud and tech?
I am getting excited about a lot of things. I am really excited to see the AI advancements in the healthcare field because that is one of the fields where I think it can be amazingly helpful. AI in healthcare, also, like I said, AI in supply chain. With all the challenges that we've been having since COVID in supply chain, I think AI can be really good for trends, for patterns, catching patterns, issues, and alarming people ahead of time. Of course, with sustainability, that is another area. I would really like to see what what we can do with AI for protecting the planet. I actually wanted to ask you, how are you feeling about AI? And you have talked to a number of people. What are your thoughts?
Oh, that's a great question. I like that. I've never been asked a question on here. No, that's awesome. I think I'm with a lot of people where I think AI, well, machine learning is a subset of AI. And I think that has been around for a while. And there's some interesting ways it's been used and interesting ways that it's going to be used. I'm very curious in um, how AI is being used for security, for threat detection and giving reports to security teams on what threats to address. I think there's a lot of opportunity there. As far as like generative AI and large language models, I'm really interested to see how the rules are applied to that. I know there's a lot of training. So when we're using chatbots and all these things, you've heard the story of the dealership. I think it was in Texas that had an AI bot promise a price for a car. So as businesses adopt things like chatbots and using large language models and generative AI, I think you just have to create these guardrails and know that it's not always perfect, and you got to train it with the right data. Back to what you're talking about, making sure the data is clean going into it. You don't want bad data going in because it's garbage in, garbage out, as you've seen with some of the worst examples online of AI. But I see there's a lot of opportunity to leverage AI to augment the human aspect when it comes to cloud, when it comes to security, when it comes to pretty much anything these days. It's leveraging AI to augment, so people can do a better job and do more and be more efficient. And I certainly see it in my field, and I'm excited to see where that goes and how much better it gets because it seems to be getting better very quickly.
Well said, well said. Yeah, yeah, I absolutely love all the productivity tools that we have out there. And I use ChatGPT every day. And we will be getting Copilot, GitHub Copilot, Microsoft Copilot. We already have Google Gemini. So, so much out there that we can use to make our lives better.
I love how it cleans up my emails. I can say that. It's like, did that sound too aggressive? Or was that too fluffy? Fix it for me. And it does a pretty good job of making me sound smarter. And I always appreciate that.
It, uh, I, I completely agree. It makes me sound smarter than I am.
You're very smart. But thank you so much for being on the show. Like, it was excellent and great to hear about what you're doing, what ADT is doing. So we appreciate you being on.
Thank you so much, Matt.
And for our listeners, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you listening to this episode, and we look forward to more episodes, sharing more episodes with you soon. So come back and watch more Cloud Currents. Thank you.